I see AJT on his Instagram stories jumping about his house, celebrating that disgusting snatch and grab last minute winner, being all smug. I know he's going to be all smug on this show. I can't stand it. You know, you think that win, it's sealed top 4. It's the 3rd game of the season, bro. Relax. You know what I mean? I'll enjoy the Champions League draw this Thursday. You enjoy that dead Europa draw. You know what I mean? Liverpool, the new Stoke, I like to call them. Darwin Nunez, the new Peter Crouch. You know what I mean? It's absolutely lifting. We dominated that game. You got battered. You got lucky. Well done. Well done, Jurgen Klopp. Well done, Turkey Teeth. It's not over yet. The revenge will come and the tune will finish on top.
Hi and welcome along to DR Sports. We are here for the weekend roundup. Joined today by a great panel here on a bank holiday Monday in the UK. It's a holiday, but listen, we're still here.
It's a holiday,
still
for
here,
sure.
man. Even on our holiday.
That don't matter in football, man.
Right?
Bank holidays don't mean anything.
We got Flex from United View, Man United channel.
Big up.
Looking a lot happier.
Oh, is this a new little? It's a new feature.
This is cute.
Is this a new feature we're doing? Yeah.
Looking a lot happier today, even though he's just getting slated there by Matty. We've got AGT.
I can't clap AGT though, man. I don't know.
AGT from the TV, Liverpool
You're a hater,
fan.
bro.
Abby, Tottenham fan, very happy as well today, right?
Big up.
Morning.
And Matisse, Chelsea fan, very happy. And me, Arsenal. My thing was just in the middle. They got all the happiness. But anyway,
not what the fan
there's a lot of things. Well, you've got a lot of mouth today, innit? Jeez, man.
He's the worst.
AGT again, isn't it? Build them up and then watch them fall.
Wow.
But right now, I'm feeling on top of the world, Rob. Yeah,
All right, well,
definitely.
let's
AGT, you know.
let's start.
Everyone shake your head, it's fine.
Let's start with your Champions League victory. You know, as Matty said.
yeah.
I mean, but let's start with that game yesterday. Liverpool going away to Newcastle. Newcastle, very difficult place to go to.
Not for us, but yeah.
Look at this. Look at this.
It's a very, very difficult place to go to.
3 in a row.
They destroyed Aston Villa 4-1 in their first game.
5-1.
And there was 5-1, sorry. And there was a lot of people saying it's going to be a really tough game for Liverpool. And then on top of that, Liverpool go down to 10 men, right?
Again?
Losing 1-0, and you're thinking it's all over for Liverpool. But what a great comeback. Darwin Nunez comes on, the much maligned Darwin Nunez comes on and scores 2 great goals and a fantastic victory for Liverpool. AGT, best win of the season for you guys, wasn't it?
Yeah. One of 2 wins of the season. But Matty Ranton, down this camera here, I saw you outside going, they must have a gypsy curse on them. If they're in League 3, we'd still lose to them. Yeah, hold that one. And you sausage, giving it the big one before the
Jason
25th
Tinder
minute. Hold that one as well, mad dog. Yeah, you sausage. But you mentioned the red card. Right, let's get into that. Let's go chronologically.
Okay. The red card, Virgil... Actually, no, before we get to Virgil van Dijk, let's start off
with Trent if you want.
Trent Alexander-Arnold. So he gets booked, first of all, for wasting time on new rules this
After
season.
he was violently slammed to the floor by ex-Evertonian.
Right.
That was almost a hate crime.
Okay, but
This is why no one likes you. Yeah.
Do you think I care about the little 13-year-olds in their mum's room?
let me explain to you. No foul's been given. No foul's been given.
Don't care, mate.
Even though there is a little push from Gordon, but no foul's been
Little
given.
push.
But no yellow cards been given, no foul's been given. Trent, very upset about it, throws the ball away.
I would have done the same thing.
Now, under the new rules
Yellow
that they
card.
brought in this season, that's a yellow card. Shortly after that,
Yep.
Trent Alexander clotheslines a player.
Gordon
And the
again.
referee, let's
Deserved
be
it.
real here now, the referee bottled it. Yeah. That was a second yellow card. He should have went. Would you agree with that?
I would say, looking back, both were probably red cards. That's what you wanted me
and the
to
Van
say,
Dijk
right?
one?
I think it was soft, but the letter of the law, according to these new rules, even though I do think there was a deliberate and genuine attempt to play the ball, it's probably a red card. He couldn't believe it. Obviously, he's abused the ref after. I would have done all the same things. But the Trent one, what was clever was during that kind of first 6 minutes where it was pandemonium, the atmosphere was on top of us, the crowd were vying for our blood. Klopp did something very clever. He went to send Joe Gomez to go and warm up, and Trent saw that. So in Trent's head, he's thinking 6 minutes in here and I'm already basically getting the summoning to go off. Gomez is warming up. And if you actually look at Trent's performance after that 25 minutes, it was unbelievable.
No, it was unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
But why? He should have been sent off. I mean, especially after being at the game, the Arsenal Crystal Palace game the other day, and seeing the two sending off in that one.
Ridiculous.
Well, let me just give it some context.
When I saw the second one, I think, and listen, us as fans have got to understand this. It's new rules they brought in. Whether those rules will still end up being in place till the end of the season, we're going to get too many players sent off, right? Because I feel that in a game where the atmosphere is hot like that, I don't think Trent just throwing the ball there, I don't think that's a time-wasting thing. I don't think it should be a yellow card.
Thing.
But under the new rules, it's a yellow card.
But Klopp
he should have been sent off. The referee bottled it, really.
On the Trent situation, Klopp said in his press conference after, the fourth official said to me it was a foul on Trent before he got the first yellow. So
but it's not been given.
It depends how far you take it back. Listen, they're both yellow card offensive, so I'm agreeing with you.
Do you know what this goes back to? This goes back to the same thing that it always goes back to, is the incompetence of these flipping officials. It's disgusting, because what's happening is football's an emotive game. Football's a physical game. It's got passion in it. So when you're giving decisions, when you're not giving decisions and giving free kicks, and players are getting frustrated, but because of the new letter of law, you've got to brandish silly yellow cards. That referee, I tell you, who was the ref? Can't remember who it was. His name.
One of the fairly new ones.
Anyway, what he did was, when he saw that Trent pulled down Gordon, he went, shit. Because I tell you what, I've just given I should have given a foul on Trent there. I can't send him off. That's what I'm telling you now. That's what he's done.
That's what
even in his ear, we've seen Mike Dean, what he's been on recently.
I'm going to protect
even
my mate.
In his ear, they're probably protect your mate. I tell you what, lad, do not send Trent off here. You just made an obvious error for not giving a free kick, and then you had to give him a yellow. That's happened a few minutes after. Don't send him off. I would not be surprised if one of them writes a book that day at St James's. I didn't say anything. I told him not to, because we've just seen proof that that's what these lot are on. He said, whether I said a mate or a colleague, we're all together on that day. All 6 of us, he said. So, mate, it's been out there. Mike Dean said it live on Sky. Live on Sky. So for me, when I saw that yellow card, or the lack of a free kick to Trent, and I want something to happen to Liverpool at all points, but I went, that's a foul. That's a foul, man. How are you not giving a foul for that? That is a foul.
He bottled it.
And then when he went down after that, he bottled that one as well, because he didn't want to give him the red.
It's funny because he got McAllister one wrong on Soccer Saturday as well. He literally said, oh yeah, I agree with the referee's decision. A couple of days later, decision's been overturned. I was like, you're not even good enough to be a pundit on the referee now.
But the thing is, it's like what you're saying there. I agree with you, right? I've fought this for a long time, and I think I've said it before on this show, that referees should not be in that VAR thing. It should be someone who's a complete neutral. I think in other sports, I think in American football and that, it's not another ref in there.
It's just a bloke in the pub.
It's just like, all you need is a person in there just knows the rules, and he just cold.
I agree. I agree.
If you put me in there and any of you are out there on that pitch,
it depends who, though,
it depends who. If you see I throw him under the bus, I'm only joking. But if any of you are out there, any of you guys are there, I'm in the box, right? And I might be like, man, I don't really want to make happy.
Exactly. You're right, it's a bit tight on AGT, man.
You're like, man, this is going to be bad.
Did a good job in Qatar.
No, actually, let's just stick with the on-field decision.
Yeah, but
it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, because that's their job. That's the point of it. And also, that was the point of bringing VAR in, so it would actually help the referees. But instead, it's just made like more of a community that they don't want to get more hate because they can't do their job properly. So they're all just going to pretend to be on side with that decision. They know they either know it's the wrong or right decision, but they won't overturn it.
I said last week, they're all helmets. Every single ref is a helmet.
I'm saying as a Tottenham fan, when he mentioned about the Cucurella Romero thing last year, how he didn't get sent off, we were all sitting there.
It was a
clear
farce.
as day. Anyone with eyes can see it. So him to go and admit that, that is so poor.
Did you see that video on Soccer Saturday? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
I read the article.
Mate,
justification was hilarious.
So they had Mike Dean.
I've seen the podcast.
Yeah, but then they started grilling him.
He was on Soccer Saturday with all the man them. With Clinton, with Darren, with Michael Dawson. Normal Soccer Saturday. So they've quizzed him. They've said, so you said the other day on the podcast that, it was your mate and all that, man. Clinton Morris is trying to be diplomatic about it. But he's like, but why didn't you send him then?
Yeah.
Well, it's taken out of context. I said my mate, but he's really my colleague. But we're all together on that day.
He was my best man.
Shut up, man. Just do your job. Like, I don't care who's Bredgens, who's not Bredgens. If it's a red card, it's a red card. If he's pulled his hair, tell whoever it is on the pitch, mate, you've missed that. He's pulled his hair.
But what's so funny about that situation is that he trying to protect his colleague, right? All you've done is get Anthony Taylor a whole heap of hate for the next God knows how many months, because Chelsea fans are like, you just literally didn't give us. No one ever goes to the VAR, referee up in Stockley and says, "Oh, I hate that guy." No one knows who it is. No one's really thinking. They're thinking about the referee on the pitch. You didn't protect him. You literally did the complete opposite. Put him in more problems.
But anyway, listen, they can complain all they want, but they didn't put away their chances.
Yeah, I was saying, continuing on with the game, Newcastle, they're 1-0 up. They're absolutely dominating the game. Like you said, didn't put away their chances. Some good goalkeeping by Alisson. Some great saves.
Maybe the best save I've ever seen in the
Stayed in the game, and then enter Darwin Nunez, and he comes on with 2 brilliant finishes. I was kind of pleased for him. Because I've always said there's a player there.
In it, yeah.
He gets a lot of stick. From you. It kind of, you know what? I turn around. We'll get to the Arsenal thing later. I kind of turn around to one of my friends. I said to him, I go, see, when people are all slating Havertz, right? You've got to give players time sometimes, right? Nunez, you could see last year, he's got the raw materials. He's just rash, and those were 2 that could change his career because they were 2 big goals.
Scored a last-minute winner, and in Premier League history, the most. I'm going to give you the top 6 teams with the 90+.
All stats coming.
Oh,
well, no. If you do that, then you get on there and double check. Because anytime this guy comes with stats,
doesn't he? He loves his stats, doesn't he?
Exactly. All right, let's get these stats.
We'll
be verifying as you speak.
Only when they win.
So Chelsea 26 90+ winning goals in the Prem. Man United 27. Tottenham 29. Impressive. Arsenal 30. Liverpool 42. It is just what we do, and for Darwin Nunez to come on and have that cameo to really stretch the back line, I think Target came on, Dan Burn had to go at centre back, perfect for not Van Dijk, he was off, for Nunez, comes on, and you're right, they were like prime Thierry Henry finishes, and he didn't have the time to think about it, which I think was a good thing. He had a split second where he looks up, but with him, if he thinks for too long and he's got too much time, his brain frazzles almost. So he had to be clinical, looks down, drills it across, and then the second goal was arguably even better than the first goal, the way he's lifted over. Unbelievable. And Matty Ranton can talk about what am I doing on Thursday night. Brother, you've seen one Champions League campaign 20 years ago. We've lost more finals than you've ever seen in the Champions League. So I'm going to carry on drinking these tears. Cheers, Matty Ranton. I'll hear the tune, son.
It reminded me of Torres at Liverpool, those goals.
Yeah.
So I think
that's a good,
very clinical.
That's a good comparison.
Very clinical. The pace in behind as well. And that's all you need with him. You don't want Nunez to really be on the ball too much. Just make those runs. Salah's pass, by the way.
Ridiculous.
Wow.
What an
Salah's pass.
Ain't no Saudi on the mind there, mate. He looked tapped into me.
Splitting hairs.
And for Nunez, my question is now, let's build on this now. This could be the moment where everyone goes, that was his moment where he won over. Not only, because you know me, I've loved Darwin, I've always been a big fan of him, but the wider footballing fan base have basically dunked on him for a year. This is his moment where he's gone, yes, slide in on his knees, have some of that. Now you need to go and do it again against Villa on Sunday and just carry on, because he definitely deserves to start now.
Jason Tyndall, the assistant manager,
humbled, bro.
Got really humbled. He was there shushing Klopp earlier when Van Dijk got sent off. He got some serious karma in that game with Klopp later on.
But that was actually
an edit.
Was that a Photoshop?
Was it a Photoshop? It was an edit.
Oh, it would have been like the most Klopp thing to actually do as well. I thought he did do it.
All these Liverpool fan pages sharing away this Klopp with his shorter arm, by the way, clearly edited, and it said visuals.
What he did do was like
on somebody's
tracksuit when we scored. He did look over.
Yeah, he looked over, but there's someone.
Klopp should have done that, man.
I should have done it. We keep it lucky.
Yeah, let's just pretend he did. I think Liverpool though do deserve massive credit for that win, because let's just be honest. Like you just said there, Robbie. Yeah, Newcastle's not an easy place to go to. I know actually, like you ironically said, that's actually 3-3, so maybe not. But we all know this new look Newcastle. A lot of people had Newcastle down that day. At least they ain't losing that.
We haven't lost for 8 years.
Crowd's going to be up. See, that's a fantastic record. Crowd's going to be up. It's a new look Newcastle. They're on the front foot. They caused massive problems early on. Obviously, Van Dijk sent off 1-0 down, and then you're looking at it to stabilise in that manner that they did, and and then to come back into the game and then go on to win it under those circumstances in that stadium, they deserve credit.
Do you know, there's a couple of questions, right? Number one, were you a bit disappointed in Newcastle in that?
Couldn't kill the game.
I felt they should have went for it a bit more. Right? Like I couldn't believe, right, when they took off Isak and Tonali, Tonali was playing brilliantly. They took him off.
And Gordon as well.
Right, and Gordon.
And Guimaraes as well. He's better than Bruno Fernandes. He was hardly anywhere.
You got Liverpool down to 10 men.
Yeah, but I think
why not have Isak and Wilson? I was a bit surprised,
especially when Isak's good out wide as well.
They wanted to just go defensive. That's what they wanted to do. But then they kept pressing, and that is where they got them on the break every single time.
But why not go defensive? They're down to 10 men.
That's just you're still trying to make. Obviously, Newcastle have come on leaps and bounds, but at the end of the day, they're still Newcastle. They haven't really been around the big boys.
In them every now and again.
Watch yourself. Literally. Cheeky, just so mouthy today.
He is, isn't he?
So mouthy.
And also that sort of goes on. That kind of goes on to my second criticism is that now.
Got to think like a big boy.
They're a big boy now.
Yeah, it's different.
Their game when they're down to 10 men, people are viewing it like. You're supposed to dispatch these men. You're Newcastle. We're not looking at the Mike Ashley type Newcastle now. We're looking at your big boys now. Deal with this.
I think that's just in-game management. I think that's Eddie Howe in-game management.
First day at school, you pack your bag for everything, and you don't need everything. You know, you don't need PE clothes. You ain't got all that shit. They come with all. They come with all the
just got too much stuff.
The whole defensive mindset. Just keep it simple. Just bring a couple books and just turn up. You'll be fine.
I think Eddie Howe will look back at that and say, my decisions there, I probably didn't go for it. But then Harvey Barnes again, he had a chance to square it to Wilson to get it. He doesn't do it. So it's about this is a learning curve for Newcastle. It's a good learning curve for them, to be fair, because this is their first season now where there's expectation, and these are the small margins with the big teams, especially someone like Liverpool, because Liverpool, we all said they can sort their midfield. They've got shooters, man. They've got players, and they got, Diaz had to get sacrificed and stuff, but you can bring on you can take off a Gakpo. You can bring on someone like Nunez. They've got firepower.
Jota came off. Changed the game.
Do you know what I'm saying? So they've got a lot of attacking options, and that's like the top level. Like Newcastle still need to know that that's where the levels are.
They still could have kept Isak on. Brought on Callum Wilson, kept Tonali on the pitch. Shout
out Jarrell Quansah, by the way.
Yeah, he came on also, right, isn't it?
Saw Van Dijk get sent off, and in his head, he's thinking a week ahead. He's thinking he might have to play next week, so we might as well chuck him in the Lions' den now. Kept a clean sheet for the time he came on. Was distributing the ball really good, breaking the lines of his passes. So impressive, for a 19-year-old to deal with that atmosphere.
Can I bring up one thing though before what we have learned is that you're better without Van Dijk.
You had to trust,
and he's passed it.
Not sure about that.
Is he past it then? No.
There's no part of you that thinks that.
He's not.
Just ask.
He's obviously not.
You just give him the captain's armband, but is he past his prime?
They just gave Son the captain's armband.
Yeah,
he's passed.
I mean, Harry Maguire was captain for Man United.
He's still an excellent defender. Like he's not the 2019 Virgil van Dijk, but his the best is still.
Right, we're moving on now, man. This ain't the Liverpool show, right? Canadian Gooner says no red card for Trent, never deserved.
Thank you.
Yellow in the first place. And Carl Bates says Eddie Howe is overrated as a manager. His tactics are just like Mourinho and Oli, but with better players. I bet the Saudis run out of patience before the end of the season.
He's an easy target though, because he just looks like they will just at any moment. They've got the money to do it.
But
he's done well, man.
Yeah, look what he's done for them.
What about this guy?
Okay.
I love him. Such a shit.
Well, let's move it on. Impressive win for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Away at Bournemouth. That was the early kickoff. 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. Another tricky game. I think you lost there last year, didn't you?
Yeah, it was 3. No, I think we won away. It was 3-2.
Oh, you won there last year.
Benton scored the winner last year.
Yes, it was a last-minute winner. It was touch and go.
It was 3-2 in both games against them.
This game wasn't touch and go. It was an impressive performance by Tottenham. Again, Maddison looking really, really good. And again, a better style of football from Tottenham. And despite Harry Kane leaving, and he scored 2 goals yesterday, that's 3 goals he scored in 2 games.
You must love Australia at the minute, and Australia.
Oh yeah, that's the man.
2-0 winners, Abby.
2-0 win. Harry who? Only joking.
Get rid of the mural.
No.
Harry who?
Harry no. Look, we've been brilliant. I can't knock Ange. I said before we even started the season, I'm really looking forward to seeing him. Like, he's just got great energy about him. He's literally brought the club back together in terms of like the fan base. They're all behind him. Obviously, we all know how we feel about the board. It's not going anywhere. There's no point dwelling on it. We move forward and back Ange, and like it's just so nice to have a positive atmosphere. Obviously, on the pitch, that is also being relayed. They're playing brilliant football. Doggy, he is just a ridiculously good signing that we made under Paratici last season. I think he was back at Udinese last season, wasn't he? Yeah. But he's come in and he looks, he's so young, and also he's just like slotted into that side perfectly.
Does look good.
He looks so calm in there, doing a really good job. Obviously, Basuma. We're seeing the Basuma that we had.
Basuma.
Honestly, so good. He's giving me a bit of Moussa Dembele vibes. It's a little bit early to put such a big name on that, but
I hear that.
Happy with him.
It's taken him a while, isn't it? Again, it's another player where.
Well, again, under
wrong manager.
I don't think anyone.
The previous manager obviously didn't trust him, but now he's got that trust.
I think you can't even look at that Conte situation because they all just look different. He just sucked the life out of that whole entire football club, which you did say, in fairness, would happen.
Yeah.
But he's been reborn. He had a bit of an injury last season as well that he was carrying, but he's come back and he's like the one that we aim to sign from Brighton. He looks really, really good. Sarr, really good signing as well. Obviously didn't see him that much last season, but good legs, great pass, great eye for it. And then Maddison for me is signing of the summer. Like, I just wish we would have signed him
when Kane was there.
And I think had we have kept Kane, I could not have been any happier with this side. But what's interesting is obviously defensively, Mickey van der Ven also slotted in seamlessly, really, really good. Vicario, he's looking a lot more confident each game that's being played. And it's actually, for once, it's not the back that is the problem. I know that Kulusevski got a goal this week. Son is looking a little bit better, but Richarlison, you can just see it, and I'm going to be fair, he needs a goal desperately because you can see his body language is a typical striker that is out of form. Head down, frustrated, like clumsy touches, really bad in front of goal, and not in the right position to receive. And I just think he's so desperate for a goal. But obviously at the moment we're going into basically the last week of the transfer window, and we haven't signed. Not that you can.
Brennan Johnson?
Well, yeah, we're linked with Brennan Johnson, and I take it because I think the idea of this team is that you make up Kane's goals by everyone contributing, and obviously Maddison being a key part of that. Son needs to get on the score sheet. Happy for Kulusevski, he's needed it as well. Yeah. But I don't think that transfer window can shut, and it's just Richarlison that is kind of like the focal point in that side.
Problem is that there's not a lot of strikers out there at the moment that you can.
But it doesn't actually have to be anyone with a massive price tag. Notoriously, Tottenham do worse when they sign players that have cost us 50, 60 million, and Ndombele, Richarlison, Lamella. Actually, I love Lamella, but still.
No.
Just for the aggression. Of course you could.
The cheat.
It doesn't actually have to be someone that's someone that costs a really high amount. It can be someone that's young. This is clearly this type of football and the type of player that Ange would want. Someone that's young, can develop and go on his side. As long as he knows where the back of the net is, that's the main thing.
Lukaku.
No, we've been linked with that. Obviously, we've been linked with Brennan Johnson. You can't get rid.
One day we will.
There's talk about Gift Orban. There's talk about Brennan Johnson. But I just think, and it's not to say. Richarlison is not a bad player. Like, we saw him at Everton. He's okay. He's an okay player. He might get you 8 to 10 goals a season when in form. But at the moment, the form is so bad, and I understand that he can't really drop him because what is that going to do to his confidence? But I do think Son should probably be down the middle because Son needs a goal more than he does.
Yeah. You guys all been impressed with Tottenham? I mean, they are looking a lot better than last. I hate to say it, but
they are.
I have to admit it and be truthful. That they are looking a lot better than last season. They look more threatening. And in Maddison, of all these sides, missed out. I mean, how has all the other...
Because I just think Maddison was perfect for Spurs.
Don't you think he would have been perfect for you? At Man United?
Not over Bruno, no. Because we would have been in the same position, just a different way around, where we got 2 10s or 2 attacking, and the balance probably would have been off. I don't think that. When he signed...
Would he have done a job at Liverpool?
We don't really play with someone someone centrally like that in terms of a straight 10. Yeah,
he was just perfect for them. He's never going to get in ahead of Odegaard. Chelsea just doing, I don't know.
He'd have been perfect at Chelsea, surely.
Maybe,
I think
you bought him. Nkunku just plays off the striker.
Carney's injured, so we weren't really planning.
He was just. I just think it was match made in heaven for Spurs.
But they've been saying it for years.
What they needed.
Tottenham fans have been saying it for years. We needed it since Eriksen went. Yeah, we needed it for 3 seasons.
It's impressive though. They're starting to cook something.
But I think the key here is clear. It's the midfield. The whole midfield is nothing like what it was last year. They had Højbjerg, they had Skip, and I don't even know who their 10 was. It was kind of Kane.
No, it was Kane.
Kane dropping in from striker.
Yeah.
So
and then Bentancur.
Bentancur's still to come back
and he's
as well.
still to come back, and he's injured. So they've completely revolutionised that whole midfield. And Bissouma and Sarr, they're just revelations, bringing energy, press resistant, ball carriers. They're doing very well, I have to say. But it'll be interesting to see if you do move in the window, because I do think that with Richarlison up front, you are lacking 100%. Maybe I keep saying it, maybe move Son central. It's not like as if he's an incredible 1v1 winger in terms of taking people apart and creating chances, but then who do you play on the left? Is it going to be Solomon? Is it going to be Richarlison? I would just swap them, to be honest. Richarlison can't finish and Son's a much better shooter, so I'd just swap them.
But I think that's the idea that for Brazil, obviously Richarlison plays down the middle, and there was a lot of talk about that he should go down the middle at the end of last season, but at the end of the day Son is better down the middle, and throughout the seasons where Kane was missing and Son stepped up, he did score goals down the middle, so he's better there. And also Son has definitely lost a couple yards, so you want to put him more central where the ball's going to be fed into him rather than keep him on the wing. He's not so good at taking people on anymore. So it's
I think Ange Postecoglou deserves massive credit there, man.
He does
copy Pep, mate.
Don't you just love him?
He's brilliant. You can't not like him. You can't not like him, man.
I don't know.
You can not like him.
We can find ways. Don't worry.
You can, but as a bloke, you love to go and have a barbecue.
He's a bloke. Actually, as a neutral now, I'm really looking forward to seeing that North London derby now.
He won't be invited to my barbecue. Right now,
you on the barbie, mate?
Another player. We're talking about a lot of players that are looking completely different to their last season. You said Bissouma. How different he looks to the Bissouma of last season, but also Raheem Sterling looks like a completely different player to what we saw last season. I thought the first 2 games he played for you, he was electric. And the other night against Luton Town, I mean, he was electric. 2 goals and an assist. Yeah. He's back. That's the Raheem Sterling that we know from Man City. Yeah. I mean, he was brilliant for Chelsea the other night, wasn't he?
Yardman's back. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know
Carnival weekend.
On Carnival weekend as well.
Yes,
do you know what I'm saying?
Talk up the things,
you would have had enough time to go Nottingham and celebrate as well, so it's fantastic. Game was on a Friday. I'm very happy with what he's been doing the last couple of weeks, because he's taking a lot of responsibility. Even in his quotes, he's speaking like somebody who knows he's got to be the talisman for this team. He's been saying, I want to be Chelsea's top scorer. He's been saying that, I want to fall in love with the game again, fall in love with football again. And I think after what happened last season, where kind of like his stocks just dropped through the floorboards, people are saying, is it the money?
Lost his England cap as well.
Yeah, England.
England position. Sorry.
Is he even motivated? Does he care? And me as well, I had massive reservations. Like, well, you have to step up. You cost a certain amount of money. You're on a certain amount of money as well, and you're at an age where there is no resale. So you have to, you've got too much experience for us to be kind of like, what's Sterling going to be like this season? And the goal against Luton, the first one, I mean, it's just it's ridiculous. He's gone past 2 or 3 players there, and he's defeated the whole low block for us by himself, and he was like that, against West Ham as well. We just didn't finish the chances that he created. So, yeah, I was really really happy with him. The second goal that he scored was very Man City-esque, being in the box, ready, slots it home, and it's a great ball for Jackson as well. So hopefully he just continues it.
He looked good as well, didn't he, Jackson?
Yeah, Jackson's one of those players that he's a very good footballer. We've seen that like kind of early doors. His touch is fantastic. He's great link up, hold up as well. He doesn't give the ball away very often, makes good runs, hard worker. So all he had to do was just start putting the ball in the back of the net. And if he can do that consistently, I think that's our guy personally.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselback was describing him as the new Drogba.
Oh, it's big.
He's wearing, it's because he's wearing the number 15, and Drogba obviously started with the 15. I don't want to put that pressure on him. He's gonna
chill out, Jimmy.
Make him number 9 and he won't score a goal ever again.
Well, Drogba never wore the 9. It's 15 and 11. That's what we're doing. True. We're not
no more
doing
9s.
We're not doing the 9 with him. We'll do it with someone else. But no. He listen. I don't want to put that kind of pressure on him, because it's his first season in the Prem and he's young. But yeah, very very impressed with him, man. Very impressed.
Yeah, very new Jimmy Floyd. I'm trying to think. That was your
Jimmy Floyd was unbelievable.
That actually did.
He was unreal. He doesn't get enough credit.
So underrated.
He is.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank
He used to have a great shot on him.
He was a bully. That goal.
Never seen someone hit the ball so hard.
Rocket, mate.
Both feet, no problem.
And then he went to Atletico. I feel like his career didn't.
Leeds Jimmy and Chelsea Jimmy and Middlesbrough Jimmy. Wicked.
Obviously, it's only Luton, but Caicedo was a lot better. Which was good to see.
Apart from that slip he did.
He just fell over.
I looked on Twitter straight away.
Early days.
I was like, people are wicked.
Yeah,
early days.
Everyone's just praying for downfalls, isn't it? It don't matter whether it's Mount, Havertz, Caicedo, because he's gone for a lot of money. When Lavia has his debut, they'll do the same thing.
Listen.
It's just what happens online, isn't it?
It's early days. Enzo and Caicedo.
Raf says
it's gonna be beautiful.
Raf says it's only Luton. Oh, I forgot they're your rivals. That's a bit harsh.
I think they're closer to Arsenal, if anything, geographically.
Let's get on to Arsenal. Arsenal drawing 2-2 with Fulham in a game yet again with Arsenal.
Early goal.
Conceding a goal within under a minute. I could not believe it. I was like, it's another one of them games where you
time this year.
Right? Another one of those games where you go to, when you're walking up to the game, everyone's like 2-0, 3, 4. No, I fancy 5 today.
You've had quite a few of them already.
And then you get in there, right? Like Bournemouth, like Southampton, the game just starts to sit down and go, like all the music's gone and all that. You go, right, here we go. Huh? That's not supposed to happen. What's that? Right? And then after that, back against the wall.
And
I thought,
it's because I know what he's saying. That's why I'm laughing.
I have to say, in that game, I've never seen so many Arsenal players. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had this with your teams, right? Where your go-to guys, your guys that are
Saka
8 out of 10 every week, are having an absolute nightmare. Saka at fault on both goals, I felt. Odegaard had a shocker. Kept giving the ball away like so uncharacteristically of him. Martinelli was poor as well. There was so many of Arsenal's main guys that were really, really poor, but they made a couple of substitutions in the second half. Fabio Vieira came on and Eddie Nketiah, I felt should have started. I couldn't understand how he'd been dropped.
He gets so disrespected.
Nketiah was electric.
People are always on Fabio Vieira's back as well.
Yeah, exactly.
The two players who get the most stick.
Vieira wins the penalty, and then he has the assist for the goal, which Eddie puts in the 2 subs.
That was a ball,
and then everyone's thinking to themselves, all right, let's go and get a third. It's done, it's dusted. And then Fulham, to be fair to them, I think they deserved a draw as well.
100%.
Just because of the way they defended and the way they dug in. And
down to 10 men as well.
Down to 10 men. Down to 10 men. And the only way they were going to score was a set piece. And what I couldn't believe is that somebody like Zinchenko, who came on the other night against Palace, when we were at 10 men, and just literally him and Jorginho, they just kept the ball. They just kept the ball, and Palace couldn't get near us after that. He goes and gives away gives the ball away that causes them to get a corner, and then I'm thinking, oh no, man, and they score from it, and it's 2-2. And then even though we had a couple of chances after that, and to be fair to them, they had a chance.
That Traore, mate. Listen,
the last thing you want to see, right, when you're knackered in a game, right, is Traore come on.
He made Saliba look slow.
He did. He breezed past Saliba. He breezed past Saliba, and Saliba's quick. But you know what? And I swear, this is the honest truth here. When he got into that one-on-one position,
you thought that was it?
I was like, he's gonna miss.
Yeah, he.
I never actually.
Yeah, his end product's rubbish.
About players, but I just thought.
He's not clever.
And he hit straight at the keeper. I mean, that is why that guy.
That's why he's moving all over the place.
When you see the weapons the weapon he is with his pace, and especially,
you've got to have
you think to yourself, why has he been at so many clubs? Why is not? And
he's in the wrong sport.
You don't finish.
From Barcelona, you know.
Should be in the NFL.
Yeah, he can't finish.
Guns like you, babe.
He can't finish because he just as soon as he gets in front of goal, he panics.
Yeah, he does.
But I think 2-2 is probably a fair result. And there was a lot of stick in the game for. I could tell at Arsenal, right, that
they always need a villain.
Their expectations have gone through the roof at Arsenal, right? Because
whenever
we spoke about this, didn't we?
Yeah, but this is
we tried to talk about this
last season.
They usually so like humble with it.
Last season it was like,
and you're right.
Last season it was go as far as you can and kind of ride the wave. Now it's like day one, you are title contender.
Interesting.
You are in the race.
Yeah.
Right. Their expectations have gone through the roof, and you know what I mean. I think a lot of fans were unhappy about 2 things in the game. Number one, They're not happy about the current formation that Mikel Arteta's playing, where he's playing Thomas Partey as a right back, who then inverts and drops into midfield. They're not happy that he's leaving out Gabriel at the moment to accommodate that. And they're not happy as well that Havertz is starting. Havertz now is 3 games in. I said this from the beginning, he's under a lot of pressure. He's come from Chelsea, it was an unexpected signing, wasn't really a universally loved signing. And I think he's, the pressure's mounting on him. And there was a I don't know if any of you guys watched the game, the whole game, but there was a bit in the game when the ball was passed to him.
Yes, I saw.
And he needed to just turn out and go for it, and he just passed it back.
Yeah.
Keep possession of the ball, that's what Arteta wants.
The rumblings,
ball retention.
You know when you get them rumblings where fans are like,
he didn't scan.
Yeah.
Why are we getting it?
The hounds are out for him, though, Robbie, man.
Yeah, I think that it's very unfair on him because only 3 games. And I've seen great players come to Arsenal like Thierry Henry, Bergkamp. I'm not saying he's going to be even half of that, but they took a while to get going. Even there was a fan that I interviewed after the game who was saying, look what Fabio Vieira came on and did compared to Havertz. I'm like, he's been here all last season and he's getting stick.
And Odegaard started off slow as well.
Odegaard started off slow, so we've got to give him time. But I must say, I do not understand why he's starting in that position.
No, it's not his position.
You've got Declan Rice and Partey there. I am confused.
His position at Bayer Leverkusen was where Odegaard is playing, which is off the right, coming in on your left. So I don't really understand to this day what he's doing as a left-sided 8. What is he meant to be bringing? Is he meant to be crossing the ball? Is he meant to be overlapping on Martinelli? Is he meant to be making third man runs into the box for headers? He's not great at heading the ball, so even though he's tall. So I'm not really understanding it. It seems like a square peg in a round.
I'm not really understanding.
Fan cams are a bit sticky after, weren't they?
There was
on 360 TV.
There was a few fans that were a bit. There's one fan in particular. He ain't having Havertz at all.
That tall guy,
him and another guy got into.
He's brilliant, yeah.
Him and another guy got into a real argument over it. But I think you've got to give players time. And as poor Havertz was poor, but he wasn't the only one.
No,
there's loads of players
scapegoating one man. I have to say, Lee Judges as well, though. Listen, mate. Yeah, I'll tell you, as a shit, mate. He won't wipe his arse, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, call it out. Call it out. He does know better than me. You wait for it, but I know, Partey ain't no right back. You know what I mean?
Done it again. The thing is, right, walking up to the game, right?
Some guy. I
was walking to the game with him, right? I walk into the game with Lee, and there's this other fan who comes, this old boy, and he goes to Lee. He goes, I don't know if it's me, Lee. I'm old school, yeah. You play a back 4. Yeah,
and he goes,
he's working last year. Why are we changing it for? So immediately when I heard that guy saying that, I'm thinking, I hope today works out, because I can already see what's going. Because Lee was there going, see, that's what I'm always saying.
He's got a point though. Do you remember?
He has got a point. He has got a point. It was working last year.
I don't think Partey was good at right back last season when he played there a couple of times. I didn't really like it.
But I think what Arteta's thinking is, he wants to evolve the team. He's trying a few different things, and we all said when Xhaka went. Well, I say we all said, a lot of us anyway, was like, but Havertz is not going to play a 9 when Jesus and Eddie are there. He's never going to play any of them wide positions over Martinelli or Saka.
So why is he there?
He fancies him as a direct replacement for Xhaka, and I'm not sure what the balance of that midfield looks like. That was what screamed out to me when they bought Havertz. And listen, I'm in a position with Mason Mount where I'm trying to work it out and see. So time will tell.
Yeah, the only thing
it is a questionable decision when you get rid of Xhaka. Turkish said I'd miss Xhaka.
It's definitely questionable.
That's what he said.
I know. I was shocked with that.
Do you know what I mean? He said I'm actually missing Xhaka.
When he's saying that, you know it's mad.
That's how you know.
And the thing is about it, right? Is that I look at the Declan Rice, Partey, Odegaard is a flipping good midfield, and I'm just like,
why tinker with it?
I'm surprised that he's just not going with that. I'm going to be interested to see what he does against United. But he's quite stubborn. The only thing I would say in his favour, right, is that when he started playing Ben White at right back, fans were the same as well. Why is he?
You got to give it time.
Why is he playing? And he's been brilliant. he made Zinchenko come in and do that inverting. He's been brilliant at that. So we do have to wait and see. But I must admit, I am sort of on the side of fans that are saying,
but
why change it?
Partey was one of the best DMs last season in the league up until February, right?
Yeah.
And then Rodri obviously started to really play an important role with the goals he's scoring as well. Why would you take one of your centre pieces from last season that you're kind of building the whole team around?
Declan Rice is that now.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Declan Rice has played next to Souček in that West Ham team. He's shown he's shown he can go box to box. He's never been in a possession-based team like Arsenal that are your DM is kind of like everything in terms of your build-up play, everything. West Ham are a lot more direct. So surely just a simple thing to do is just play Rice next to Partey. He's used to playing with an anchor anyway, and let Odegaard have a free role.
Then the other thing is as well is that when you now move Ben White back into with the free, you're missing out on that great combination that he had last year.
Which I don't think he thinks it's that great. Exactly. I think he should. I think I could be wrong. Yeah, I think Arteta's looked at it and gone. A couple of times Gabriel is the one out of the two that will give me that mistake. He's a little bit rash. He's got the passion. He's always up for it. Sometimes a little bit overhyped. Even in pre-season when we were there, obviously. So he's done that against Sancho, and that's probably in his mind. He's gone. I mean, Ben White don't even watch football. He's as calm as they want. And I think he might prefer the temperament of as a pairing of Ben White and Saliba, and I wouldn't be surprised if he might go with that. Because if you got Timber, and obviously got Rich.
Timber's a big miss.
His plan might have always been that.
His plan was with Timber in it, but I think his plan is when we're sort of playing teams that are going to put everybody behind the ball, I'll have Partey on the right, and then he drops into midfield. I've got extra players in midfield and I dominate the ball.
Has that bit worked? Has that side worked? Like when you are on the front foot?
Kind of on the front foot it does, but then when we lose the ball now, Partey's not quick enough to play as a right.
And he ran out that space. When Saka's in trouble, Paulina's coming to press, he needs help. Yeah. And that's where you know about his first thought as a midfield. He's gone. Yeah. As a right back, you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Definitely 2 points dropped by Arsenal. Let me just go through some. By the way, lots of super chats coming in. Regan says Arsenal taking it for granted and switching off. Probably. Dennis Kidd says, as a City fan, I'm looking at Arsenal and I'm thinking they should be building on last season and improving. I'm not seeing that so far.
I agree.
Vishesh says, as a City fan, always feared Klopp, never Arteta. Kiara Bitsy says, the chicken is above the elephant. Moman says, wondering if Matisse is still laughing at imposter Koglu or the imposter no clue.
They were brilliant slander names.
Seemed awfully quiet before when everyone else was giving Ange his kudos.
Ooh.
Anything to that?
I've got no problem with
sweet
Postecoglou. He's a lovely lad. I just thought they were brilliant slander names. I said, if it goes wrong, we will be there. That's all I said.
The same way how you revoked them Liverpool tweets as well. When you
and the way that they're given, they got these.
I'd love to see them drafts.
Where will you be?
Everywhere. I'll be everywhere.
But you gassed up because you beat Luton.
Listen, I've got nothing against Postecoglou. He's a lovely guy.
You seem like you do.
It's just the way that they started.
That's what someone would say if they have.
No, I really don't. But the way that they started making these hateful group chats on Pochettino, I obviously have to, I have to have that back and forth with
Listen, I'll see you on the 4th
That Chelsea Tottenham. Is that when that is? Where is it first?
Tottenham.
Fireworks.
Some other ones. M13 says, great show.
Chicken.
Great show, guys. To AGT, thoughts on Gomez, Quensa and Matip's performance. Salah to Saudi. Do you think we're losing him? And he says, flex, man poo United sucks. That's not very nice.
Man poo.
But
so hurtful.
You already sort of spoke about the performances of those other players, but Salah, could he go?
Yeah, we're hearing that Al Ittihad this morning are going in with 150 mil bid.
Are they?
Lovely.
150 mil.
Like even Carragher was saying that's the only time you can sort of turn around.
Sorry, 129 mil.
It needs to be pounds.
Is there a price?
There has to be a price.
AGT, real talk.
Surely that's the price.
There's always a price.
Is there a price where you go?
What, in 4 days?
Is there a price in 4 days? No, this is Saudi. This is Saudi.
There's always a price.
Is there a price in 4 days?
There is a price.
Right.
If we've already got a replacement lined up, like someone mad.
Even just too good to... No, we'll take this money because in January we can spend it.
Harvey Elliott's right there.
200.
If they get 200 now, doesn't matter. Whether you got a replacement or you have to say
take it.
I'll take 200.
They got a lot of forwards.
But hang on. They're not going to give us 200, and it's 3 days to go, so it's not going to happen. And I wouldn't take it.
Who would you replace him with?
Exactly. That's what we can't do in the next 3 days. It's impossible.
Raf says
next year 200. Come talk to us.
Raf says Matisse exposed that German James Charles. Who's that?
I don't know.
Right, and
James.
the 789 says nice hair, Abby.
Oh, Kai.
Liking your hair.
Shit.
Thank you.
Let's move it on.
Kai
have it.
Okay, let's move it on. Man United 3, Nottingham Forest 2. You know, I was at our game. We were losing 1-0, right? And this guy goes, "What me? United losing 2-0. I said, I don't care about no United.
That's exactly what I said to my
we're losing 1-0. Who cares?
People need to focus.
You know what? That's exactly what happened to us.
Great comeback by Man United. Great comeback to win the game by 3-2. Talk to us about the game. Again, you, just like us, conceding not 1, but 2 early goals. What went wrong?
I'm a fan, Like, you see when mad stuff happens on the pitch, I don't say it on the podcast, and I think mad things in my head. I think like, oh my God, so we're not going to win a game the rest of this year. Oh my God, maybe Ten Hag. I think in the moment, I think mad stuff.
Could get sacked.
You just think,
all your anxieties come out in your head.
The anxiety proper comes out.
That on the podcast,
and it was no, not at all, because that's the true meaning of reactionary fan. We need to be calm. Because the guy next to me was like, Flex, we'll come back here, but this is awful. I was like, will we? I was going mad, innit? But look, when you look back, it was good character to come back from 2-0 down. But then you flip it and say, Forest got probably the worst away record.
They have got the worst.
Do you know what I mean? They're not a team, and actually, they probably, even though it's weird, they probably scored 2 goals too quickly for a team like that, where then they don't know whether to stick or twist. Wolfie from Forest Fan TV done stuff with you guys. He's done a preview. He was sort of moaning even before the game, using the Arsenal game as a reference, just go for it. But even before the game, he messaged me saying, "Congratulations on the 3 points. We're going back 5 again." And I said, "Listen, you don't know my team." And then look,
2-0 in 5
So
minutes,
when that happened, look, you can be shell shocked, and then you still need. It's embarrassing, isn't it? So you're on the pitch, 75,000 people, everyone's on you, 2-0 down against Forest. You still need to show some character, and they did do that. But there were still worrying signs on the break. They looked dangerous still. When they went down to 10 men,
you saw what we saw. Elanga and Ewani.
I said before the game, I said if Elanga even thinks about, and he did, he flashed the ball across the box that Wood should have got in the end of, and he didn't. And even the game management, there was actually like 13 minutes put up. You know what it's like with all the extra time, and fair play, that was the time. And just the game management at 10 men. I'm like, you don't need to go for a 4th. Just keep the ball. What are you lot doing?
Because they look good with 10 men.
Yeah, they look better. They actually look better. And it happened around, I think, the 70th minute. I said to the guy, I think this might have the reverse effect, you know? Like, I don't think we're going to play much better now. It was probably better than having 11. But Bruno was fantastic. Captain's performance. He got their player sent off while making a good run. He scored the penalty, got an assist as well. That's what you want your captain to do. The chips are down. It's 2-0, and we came out of it. But there's not much you can take from it.
Was it a penalty?
No. Big dive.
Of course, that's another thing. Big dive. My goodness.
No contact, mate.
I mean, you're going to a bit as well.
There was
the Carragher thing.
There was contact.
It's a pen all day long.
Penalty for you?
It's ridiculous.
Penalty for you?
What?
Yeah, there's an angle that shows that much space between where he makes
penalty for you.
Mad.
I think on the angle I saw, I understand why it's given.
I think, listen, with the penalties I've seen given, I can't really.
I've seen far worse.
Flex is in denial.
I've seen some.
That is clear as day, a pen.
Not long ago.
You thought the Szoboszlai one was a pen. I ain't talking to you.
Yeah.
But honestly,
you're biased because if you thought that Szoboszlai one was a pen, don't ask him.
But I also thought he should have had a penalty against Tottenham last week.
It's very soft, but
and we should have
this is what is continuously happening. So this is the
way.
way.
Do you know what? This is
complaining about it, right?
Who did you not give a pen against? Was it Wolves?
That should have been a pen.
That should have been a pen. That was given.
Yeah, and then we didn't get the one at Tottenham the week after.
So
you know what?
This was a pen.
My view on that, right? My view on that penalty, like we were sort of discussing it yesterday. I'm like, it's a penalty because it's one of them, and I've seen these happen in so many games where you look at the player and you say, just stand up. Why give? You know that Rashford, if you go in like that, even though he sort of pulls out, you've already committed in. He's going to go over.
I haven't seen the angle.
Right.
Touched his knee. He just has contact.
No, I think it's a pen. I haven't seen the angle he's seen. But from
the angle,
I think you're going to have to give it. It's never going to get overturned once it's given.
It's a pen.
I think it's one of those that if it weren't given on the pitch, he wouldn't have been called to overturn it.
And you know what else as well? What happens? The summer side one was Martin Keown. He is a disgrace. Him. West Ham. Talk to your boy. He is still hurt from Van Nistelrooy. He is Man United mashed up his childhood, his playing career on Match of the Day, talking all his rubbish, saying how he dived. Damien O'Hara, Gabriel Bonglahor saying how he dived. These men would say anything. They just hate Man United. Meanwhile, Szoboszlai was doing his one last week. Weren't in no talk, no nothing.
I didn't think that was a penalty.
One. That's a pen.
The Szoboszlai one. About the three of you.
I'll get you the other one.
The thing about that, as I said, right, it's one of those penalties that if it's given on the pitch,
then it's
not going to get overturned because there is a slight. He's committed, and and it was stupid because all needs to just stand on his feet.
There you go.
But he panicked.
But
because
it's the
same with the one at the Emirates.
There was steam coming off his head.
No need to dive in.
Yeah.
No need to do that.
Martin Keown may as well just stop saying everything and just said Ruud van Nistelrooy.
I like Martin Keown.
You just should have said
I don't.
I hate Ruud van Nistelrooy.
So with United then, great comeback. Do you think that's lift off now, or do you still think?
I don't know, Robbie. I don't know. Nah, probably not. Got you next. I know you lot got some issues where you lot are like, no,
we got issues as well.
That's going to be a weird game.
Sunday.
We're not fluent.
Man United away from home. Jeez, it's a tough one, mate. You've seen what our mentality is like against the top 9 teams. We haven't won in ages, mate. So I wouldn't say that's lift off. But on the flip side, Arsenal aren't firing on all cylinders. Actually, especially at home.
Good time to go there, maybe.
We're better away from them.
I'm actually quite happy that it's early in the season now. We can just go there now while you're in a bit of an indifferent period, and so are we.
Did you make of that game? It's a great game, though.
It's a great game. Listen, everybody's game was great. There was goals everywhere this weekend for everyone. But I do think with Man United, it's with Mount injured into international break, not that he was starting off great anyway, but again, give players time, right? You do need to do something in the window because I know Eriksen started, and I know the win percentage with Eriksen and Casemiro is actually really high. Solid, and actually Ten Hag's win percentage in comparison to the other top managers in his first
Mason
season
Mount came
really
out of the team when every midfielder scored.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Mason,
but you do need to do something.
When's Højlund?
He's back for Arsenal.
He's
back. He will be on the bench. He'll be on the bench.
Okay.
But yeah, Rashford back on the left. Who knew? Who knew Rashford back on the left and we'd see problems for the opposition? Yeah. Pedro Porro was playing, defensively. He's been a bit shaky. Rashford out there would have been interesting to see. Didn't happen. So back to basics. But yeah.
Okay, let me go through some of the other games. Very, very impressive performance by West Ham going away to Brighton.
Wow. Where's Nicky Hawkins?
Nicky Hawkins.
He wants him out, David Moyes. Nah. Is he not put respect on Sir David now?
Listen.
Dan Lawless, where are they?
I'm chatting to him later.
Do you know what I mean? Them man are saying top of the league, Kudus, Alvarez, Ward-Prowse. Now they're trying to get Maguire on loan.
By the way, that's looking like another steal, Ward-Prowse.
Oh, so
unbelievable signing.
That could be signing of the summer as well.
I've always found it weird that no one. I know he tied himself down to that extra contracts at Southampton, but I always found it weird that no one ever went in for him.
Just
dead ball situation.
Perfect for West Ham.
I've got to say, goalkeeping performance by that Areola.
He's good as well.
Some of the saves he made in that game were unbelievable.
He was number 1 for PSG for a while.
Unbelievable saves. I mean, Brighton is a bit of a rude awakening for Brighton in a way because everyone's been really. Again, this is what I'm saying. A bit like
I was just about to say, how sad is that? We are. Be honest. When you saw Brian get mashed up,
I enjoyed it.
You a little bit like,
I enjoyed it,
man.
Yeah, of course.
Brighton, man, move. Bro, I was
100%.
It's a bit like
my team couldn't do that going down, but it's nice to see.
I think it's
the way that De Zerbi talks publicly. He talks like as if he's the shit, right? So when he got humbled and when they got absolutely pammed, and I mean pammed, yeah. After all of the extortionate fees that they do with their players, I said you can hold that. There's nothing
You're
better.
bitter though, innit?
No, 100%. There's nothing. No. I'll tell you why.
Does it matter, Brighton? Brighton got all their money.
I actually like Brighton. I actually like Brighton as a place. I've been to Brighton. Lovely place. But you see De Zerbi? He was like, yo, the way that he was chatting about Colwell publicly, I was like, yo, do you know what? Yeah, you guys It's so nice to just see a
got a
direct
timer, you wanna
a
get
direct
one,
ball, a
That's hating
direct
on
ball to
Brighton, man.
Antonio, a direct ball to
Dead
Antonio, a
seagulls,
spin
man.
and a finish. Webster got absolutely destroyed. in that
Wait a
game.
minute, bro.
Webster was just dunked on.
He got
I
ragdolled
enjoyed
by
it.
Antonio, man.
We were like, yo, guys, just bring Caicedo on. Just bring Colwell on. Bring them on, man. They'll fix this game for
After
you.
last week, where I was like, when you
loved
mentioned
it.
Brighton and Hove, I was like, you have to say their full name only.
Albion.
Nah, mate, they
Now
went
they're
back.
the Seagulls
They went
again.
back to Brighton. They went back to the
And I hate
Seagulls
Seagulls.
temporarily.
Oh, that man.
Temporarily.
that Mario.
Great result for West Ham. Everton losing again at home.
Shock.
Big trouble.
This time to Wolves in big trouble. Massive win
Get
for Wolves.
them down.
Wolves winning 1-0. Wolves winning 1-0. Everton has
Can I
seemed to be in a bit of
shout out
trouble.
to the striker. We were doing this on the Saturday Football Show. That was the guy that tore his
Vlasic.
ACL in the first game
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
season
Oh,
last
really?
year
Yeah.
for Wolves. So shout out
Came
to
in.
him.
I was actually going to say I thought keepers were both very good in that game.
Yeah, they
I
were.
think
Again.
where Everton would be without Jordan Pickford.
Oh, mate,
I don't know.
He's working triple overtime,
Yeah,
mate.
bro.
He needs
a salary.
This could be
And another,
yeah.
I thought a good result for Crystal Palace, coming from 1-0 down against Brentford.
Great result,
to
man.
get a draw there. That was a
mad goal,
that was a good London derby, but very impressive by Crystal Palace considering they lost at home during the week. Villa looking really good as well. Going away and beating Burnley by 3-1, 2 goals for Matty Cash and Diaby, another
kicking something,
player
Villa.
that I wonder why so many people
That's
slept on
also
him.
a signing of the summer.
Yeah.
Diaby as well. They're
another
coming
goal
to
for
Anfield
Diaby.
on Sunday.
They are.
I tell you what,
I'll
I'll
be
love
watching.
it.
Game that.
I'll be
It's a
watching.
good game,
That's
I like
a
that.
great
Super
game.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
2
Oh, was that
o'clock.
Super Sunday? I'll have
What,
it.
No Van Dijk.
what he's done, Unai Emery, is just ridiculous. He hasn't even been there a year yet.
Put some
And,
respect
just
on his name,
completely-
You might have to put respect on his name on Sunday. You don't worry about me, man.
No, but he's completely changed it. He's completely.
You might regret that one. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Diaby on the counter.
Unai Emery's a good manager, just didn't suit Arsenal.
The way the
I said that at the time.
Should have given him more time?
Nah.
Should have trusted the process.
They got a lot of injuries. Of it
If you would have given him the time he gave Arteta, things would have been different.
No, he just honestly.
They got a lot of injuries.
Right, I'm normally very patient, and I was kind of like,
European
no,
pedigree, mate.
bus. You know what I mean? I didn't like the style of football, man, under Unai Emery. But he's doing, he suits Villa. And he's doing a great job for Villa. Sheffield United 1, Manchester City 2.
I told you guys.
City.
You two the other day.
Yeah, City getting the job done, even though after Sheffield United equalised, City weren't at their best. Haaland missed a penalty. I got a question for all of you guys, right? Caicedo 115 million, Rice 105 million. How much is Rodri worth?
Oh my god.
250.
Ridiculous. For me, top five.
No, he's the best CDM in the world.
good.
I think the best CDM in the world.
It's
Yeah,
not
so
just
good.
it's not just being the destroyer and getting away with
of all
sneaky
players.
fouls that should be
Of all
yellows.
players.
He's
Of all
actually
players.
scoring winners.
Big goals as well.
Champions League
And that was
final.
another great
So
finish.
good.
That was another great finish,
And
wasn't
he's
it?
27 as well.
He's unbelievable.
He's so good.
He scored against Bayern,
Ridiculous.
right? He scored in the Champions League
Left
final.
foot as well.
Yeah, left foot, banger. Scored against in the Champions League final to win them the thing, and then he scored now.
Didn't
again.
he
It's
score
just-
at Emirates a
Yeah, he
clutch
did.
goal?
Yeah,
as
and
well?
and also in the Community Shield.
Scores big goals, man.
In the
Big-
Community Shield, he was like their
Whippers.
biggest attacking outlet. Haaland couldn't get the ball in the Community Shield. Remember against Arsenal, it was Rodri just firing shots.
Do you know what? I have
constantly.
to say, Haaland, when he's facing up
Mm.
against these relegation fodder teams that will elbow him and they'll get in his
got to
head,
rough him
he
up.
does not like it. I'm telling you now.
Rudiger done it to him.
Egan, Rudiger, Joe Gomez did it to him at Anfield last year. There are certain type of teams that I won't say cannot perform against because he still gets his
still
goal.
gonna score.
I always
Still
knew he would
scored,
still
though,
score.
yeah.
in the
It's
game.
because City just creates
Hold
so
on a
many
minute, hold
chances.
on a
He's
minute.
always going
You're
to
saying-
score. But you
you're
can
saying all
minimise
that-
his impact sometimes.
No, hold on. He's
Sometimes
saying all
if
that.
you
He still
rough him up,
scored.
doesn't
Yeah,
like
he did.
it. But
He
I've
did.
just
But he still
admitted that
scored.
as well. I said
But he had a
You
lot
roughed
of
him up, he
chances,
still
though.
scored.
He had a lot of
I-
chances.
yes,
Yeah.
I
He did, he
I said
did.
still
He does
scored.
take a lot of chances to score sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it's because City have such a high volume of like against Newcastle. It was the same
creation,
thing. Like Foden was just putting it on a plate. He's in again. He would miss or force a save from the keeper. It would go like that. 48 seconds later, he's in again because they just keep coming and coming.
Shy One, says City we saw yesterday is just a preview of the tactics Pep's plans to play. Keep wingers wide and give Haaland space to work. Goodbye tap-in football, he said. And, it was listen, I still don't think they're at their fluent best.
They always start like this as well. But they keep winning.
The problem is at the moment for everybody else is they're top of the league already.
Yeah, free.
And they haven't, I mean, listen, we put it in context. They have played two teams that have promoted teams in that, but and they played Newcastle at home, who they never ever lose to. However, they're still top of the league, and we can see they've got more to come. I'll tell you one player that's really impressed me for them, your old boy. Kovacic.
He's a good player.
He's looks
not surprised at all.
But he looks different there. The way he's just picking up the ball and driving through midfield. He was
always doing that. Like, it's only last season he had a bad season, but everybody had a bad season. I think once Tuchel left and we brought in Potter, I think the likes of Sterling and Cover, the experienced, players, were like, I ain't having this. But at Chelsea, he won Player of the Year. He was a very big player for us, and he's got a lot of quality. He's shown it so many times on the international stage as well. So I'm not surprised at all. That was the one player that left us out of Mount, Havertz and Cover, and I knew Cover would be brilliant at City. The other two, we'll see. I want
to know Man United bad, it's just for that money as well.
His only issues was injuries. If he could stay clear of injuries, he was always picking up injuries.
He's a proper footballer.
Denzel says, Eric Ten Hag's second season, what is his style of play? Are United expected to challenge for the league? If not, then why? And what are the expectations of the United fans? A few questions there.
Don't know what the style of play is. At the moment,
what is his style of play?
No, at the moment we can't see it consistently enough, because if I was saying this to someone today, I was like, if you look at the goals that Man United conceded, they're not all tactical. They're mainly individual goals where people are making mistakes. Wan-Bissaka loses a header to Gibbs-White. Rashford is one-on-one, don't put a tackle in properly. Leacher kicks it into the net at Tottenham Stadium. Like, they're individual mistakes, and you can see when we were on the up against Forest being 2-0 down, and then we're doing the rules and the principles, even though they're sticking back, you can see Dallow's inverting, you can see the things that he wants to do, but we can't do it consistently enough, because either A, the balance is off and we're making too many mistakes. Secondly, what will we challenge for the league this year? Is that a question? No. If not, why? It's year one. Every other manager who's managed to... he's only had 1 year. So, sorry, he's in year 2 now, but he's only had one season. He's got to undo a lot. Man United improved last year, finished third, got a trophy, he's fantastic. Doesn't get a free pass. I do need to see more. I need to see him kicking on. But, Arteta took, 4 years to get challenging. Klopp, 5 years before he won the Prem?
4 years.
How long before he won the Prem, before he come? Wasn't it 5?
Yeah, it was.
There you go. So
but he was challenging like 2 years. Yeah,
so,
I know
I need to see.
Need time.
He just needs time. This is game 3 of year 2. Like, come on.
Okay. There's another one here. This is from Sheldon Jackson. And by the way, over 8,000 of you watching. Thanks for all the likes as well. Get it up to 1,000 likes, but it's been brilliant. Sheldon Jackson says, wanted all your thoughts on this Rubiales situation, with him refusing to read the room and doubling down on it. Also, the crazy reports about the Spanish FA threatening to leave UEFA if he's removed. And then there's been a further development on the story this morning in that Rubiales' mother has gone on hunger strike. She's barricaded herself into a church in Spain and is refusing to come off of the, come off of the hunger strike. She says because of the inhuman hunt against her son. Abby, you was at the World Cup over there in Australia. You was in the stadium for the final. You saw it up on the big screen. Him there. We all saw it. Yeah. The kiss on Hermoso. She said afterwards it wasn't consensual. This thing's rumbling on and on and on and on. And like the guy says, he's not reading the room. He's doubling down and saying, listen, I even saw something where he's threatening to even sue Hermosa for telling lies about him.
Well, it's ridiculous. I mean, first and foremost, they've just won the World Cup. And this is what the talking point is.
It's
and that's
shocking.
what's so annoying about the whole situation, that you're not even commending what, the team have done. And there were issues before the tournament, obviously with the coaching staff and within the Spanish FA anyway, and with their coach as well. So this is not something that's just currently sprung from nowhere. These issues, I've heard lots of things that have gone on kind of inside that camp as well, the way that the girls are treated, and they have every right. It wasn't consensual. You've done that on a world stage where everyone can see it. She's uncomfortable. She's also just won the World Cup, and now we're spending the last 2 weeks talking about this kiss rather than talking about what the women have actually achieved and celebrating that.
The fact that he hasn't resigned, tell a big story?
He's ruining the whole moment.
He is.
But it's like the fact that he's not resigned sort of he's saying that, you know, what did I do? Nothing's wrong with
He'll
this.
have to resign soon. The pressure will
Well, yeah, he will have to resign.
He's been suspended by FIFA, hasn't he?
For 3 months. Yeah.
Well, that's exactly, for 3 months.
He's clearly trying to stick it out. I just don't get, like, why is it not all of a sudden, because this has been happening a long time, but we're just seeing men just don't know how to act around women.
No, men just don't know how to act.
What's going on? Like, I don't understand it. I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like this is just, if you're just raised with just good morals and you're a good, decent person, you understand how to treat women. But now we're seeing a lot of negative things, which obviously have happened in my club, and in general. But now we're seeing the other side of it, where you think that's okay. In celebration, it's okay to conduct yourself like that as a male. It's like all of a sudden we're seeing.
Can I just say? I mean, I'm just seeing people in the comments. I mean, they're not helping the situation at all. Why are you talking about it? If it was the other way around, no one would bat an eyelid. Well, it's not. We are talking about it because unfortunately it's been made to be spoken about, and that's, you know, this is the culture. This is the culture of women trying to change how men are. And it is impossible, because men will always comment on a woman's appearance rather than the job they do. They'll always try and take advantage of a woman when they can do. And then this is it. Talking about, I've just seen one, toxic feminist. At the end of the day, it was a non-consensual kiss. The women had just won the Women's World Cup, and this is still what we're talking about. And the man will not accept responsibility for that, and he won't step away from his job because he's done something wrong and he's made it her fault, made it her problem.
And they tried to shush her as well.
Try and shush her, get rid of her. At the end of the day, you've invaded her space. What do you want her to do in that moment? It's there for everybody to see.
You know the shocking thing about it,
is that the comments I'm actually seeing here.
Yeah, and the shocking thing about it is he seems to have a lot of support as well, because did you see that? Did you see that FA? They were all clapping him, and then I even saw some. No, there was more than that. And then I saw exactly, and I saw like in some interviews with some people in Spain, and they're like, you know, well, all right, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have done it, but what's all the big fuss about? Honestly, I can't believe
it's the same thing with dealing with any issue.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
The people in the minority are not the people that can change the situation. The people in the majority, i.e., this is men doing this. They're the people who have to change.
Exactly.
We're the ones who, and people get offended because they say, well, it's not me, don't talk to me, I didn't do it. Yeah, but we'll just try and help. Whether it's racism, whether it's you're being derogatory against disability, whether it's against like homophobia, whatever the fight is, stop putting the onus onto the minority people who are being persecuted. Stop doing that. Like the people who are the mass who are doing it wrong, that's who needs to.
I'll tell you, you know what?
It's already with Vinny, isn't it? They put the blame on him.
They put the blame on him. That's what I'm saying.
You know, this is why this subject is really important, because I think one of the worst things especially within football, is when people think, well, what's all the fuss about?
Get on with it.
Get on with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I saw an incident similar. This was on a racial tip, right? Similar to this a couple of weeks ago at Arsenal. I'm walking to a game with, he won't mind me saying it, with Julian, yeah? And Julian's Jewish, yeah? And there was another Arsenal fan, and he was singing a song about Harry Kane, right? And I'm not going to repeat but I was like, when I heard the guy singing it, I'm like, with Jewish connotations in it. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, what's that? Now, Julian turned around to the guy and said, bro, what are you singing? I don't stop that. I'm Jewish. Do not sing that song. Do not, I don't want to hear that, right? Or else. And the guy was like, well, mate, what's your problem?
It's just a song, Bet.
It's just a song. And these are the things. These are the things that are wrong. It's the same in this case, where this guy, he just don't get it. The whole world saw it. It's inappropriate. You don't know the woman. Why are you kissing? You're not her boyfriend.
Exactly.
You're not her. You're not her family.
It's
inappropriate. It's inappropriate. You've got to step down.
I mean, do you know the amount of people in here? And I'm not. Look, you might not all be men. You might be some women in here. I don't know. But the amount of people saying it's just a kiss. Don't be a snowflake. All that. At the end of the day, it's somebody's personal space, and she has not said that you can kiss her in front on national TV.
He's got his hands around her head.
He has left her with no choice at that point. He has grabbed her. And at the end of the day, whether or not you like it or not, think of that as your daughter. Think of that as your mother.
100%.
Someone touching someone you love without their consent.
It's different until that happens.
Exactly, it's completely different. And this is the type of culture that women have to deal with every single day. And I'm sure you'll say, oh, we're all victims being women. Well, Yeah, actually, sometimes we are, because we're trying to change a culture.
Most of the time they
especially when it's within football. I'm a woman within football. I'm constantly trying to change a culture where men look at a woman and the first thing they judge her on is what she looks like, and they think they can take advantage or manipulate or speak down to a woman because she's a woman in a male-dominated environment. And it's not okay. These are women that have achieved something, and it shouldn't be someone within the FA when they've just won the world championship,
the
pinnacle of women's football or any football, to react like that. And it should never be her fault, because it's not her fault.
Yeah, and Alex Hutchinson says Abby is 100% right. He should be gone. And Spain throwing their toys out of the pram about it isn't helping either. They want to leave UEFA over this. Go on then.
Leave.
WWC was fantastic.
People saying it's a cultural thing. I've never heard of.
That's not a cultural thing.
I've never heard of.
Listen, the woman said,
Ring
Raoul now. Ring Raoul now. Get him on the list.
Even
I've heard of the kiss on the cheek.
if you even try and come with that excuse, the woman said, "I did not want it to happen." End of stories. End
She
of.
said on her Instagram live after, like, "No me la gustado," which means I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So she's
Straight
telling
away.
you 10 minutes after the final,
Yeah.
and then they've come and said something like, "Oh, listen, just say it's not a big deal, and then we can
Play it
forget
down.
about this
Yeah.
and enjoy our celebration."
Manipulate the
It was literally
situation.
from the time that
That's
game
rotten
had
from the
finished to
core,
the time I got to
though.
the airport.
That situation.
To the time I got to the airport, which was literally 3 hours later, everything on my Instagram was about that kiss.
Yeah.
But
The
some
whole
people are
thing.
saying in the chat, stick to football. This is football. This happened
is football.
at the
This is
World
football.
Cup final.
Yeah,
On the
this
biggest
is
stage.
A societal issue. This is what people forget as well. That societal issues of football. It's
And
also a
politics
reflection
is in
of what's
football
going
as
on.
well.
I will also
100%.
say, just on the Mason Greenwood thing, because I did keep an eye on that. I think that took way too long to be dealt with personally,
Yeah.
and I don't understand
That was a
why
mess.
it went to be spoken to the women's team to make a decision on. At the end of the day, people at the top, which are usually men, should make a call on that. They don't need a woman to give their opinion on it.
Well,
to
there was a
whether or
report
not-
that was saying that,
Yeah.
which the club
Whether or
came
not
out and
that
tried
was
to say,
true or
yeah.
not,
But the
but
way
when I
that
saw that,
that
it was dealt
article,
with
the
wrong,
way
yeah.
that was phrased was if we're waiting for the women's team to come back here so
No.
they can help us. But it's
Because
absolutely
we don't
disgusting.
think he's done something wrong, but if they tell
If
us,
they-
then we
if
might
they
have to
say-
listen
Well, they
to
said
them.
in the statement in the end, we don't think he's done anyway.
Next time you'll comment, just think about your mums and your daughters
It's
and
a
your
good
aunties
point,
and
Abby.
your
I'm
grandmas.
with you on that. And
Yeah.
your sisters.
Ronnie
all of
Dodge
that.
also, just on one final comment that I missed this, he said, "I'm excited to see how United play with Hoyland playing. So he should be back soon." We've come to the end of the show today. Listen, thanks everybody for tuning in. I think, what we were just speaking about there is really important to highlight. And if this guy's got any backbone, he resigns. He
doesn't,
He's got none.
Now even his mum's getting involved. I mean, just do everybody a favour, step down, and let the women get their proper flowers for what they did. Huge achievement. When you think that 15 of them didn't even... No wonder they don't want to play for Spain after what we're seeing there. But do the right thing and just step down. But listen, thanks very much for having you guys today. I know it's a bank holiday. You're going to go back home and relax, or carnival, or whatever you're doing. Right, Matisse, thank you very much. Abby, AGT, Flex,
Big up.
and also to you guys for tuning in. It's been absolutely brilliant. We'll catch you on Thursday, where we take the weekend preview.
And I might not be here on Monday, depending on what happens.
Really?
Maybe I might not be here either.
Maybe we won't.
I'll be here. Win, lose,
I may
or
not be
draw.
here. All right.
I'll be here.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe here to DR, and we'll see you on the next one.